Hello, everybody. There we go. Got to remember the microphone is on. Hello, everybody. Brad Johnson here. So I wanted to do this video. I was originally thinking of pre-recording this video and then uploading it to YouTube later on. But I thought, what the heck? I might as well go ahead and do kind of a live version of this so that if there are some people that do tune in through live chat, if they have questions in regards to what I am going to share, then they have the ability to ask questions, of course. So this is not a New Earth Teachings webcast or anything of that nature. This is just a live version of some things that I was going to be sharing regarding current events and so forth. So again, I've been getting quite a lot of emails from people about the current times of what's happening here. Some people are afraid of a solar flash. Some people are afraid of a second lockdown. Some people are afraid of, again, extended problems relating to government, etc. And really, we're just kind of looking at the bigger picture about why all of this is taking place, right? Again, it's as I've talked about since the beginning of this year and even into late last year. Adronis has also shared that this is the year of exposure, right? This is an ebb year, really, okay? There's an ebb and there's a flow, and this certainly represents the ebb year, that we're looking at a lot of resistance, that we're looking at a lot of contraction, that we're looking at a lot of this harshness that is coming upon the planet right now. Now, back in Edgar Cayce's day, he talked about what was known as a spiritual war that was taking place. If we're looking at the heavens, there was a spiritual war between the aspect of the light and the dark. And throughout that time, there have been these, best way I could refer to them as parasitical entities that have come upon the planet and have basically seduced certain amount of people, right? A lot of these people represent rulers and, again, higher states of authority on the planet. And they have been able to hijack bodies, right? And a lot of these beings that have hijacked bodies would now be put in a position of authority. So they could be rulers, emperors, kings, queens, presidents, premiers, etc. All of these higher oligarchs, basically, that are running the show, like puppet masters in that sense, really aren't even human anymore, right? And every particular form of position of authority has basically been hijacked by these particular beings, okay? So we have a lot of these parasitical energies that have been with us for a very long time, since the time of kings and queens and emperors and so forth, right? And it's looking at thousands of years of debris, and that there would be a time that had been prophesied where all of this would come out. It's like I said, you're opening up Pandora's box. And as soon as you open up Pandora's box, then you can't shut this again. It cannot be closed. This is exactly what we're seeing here as we move into 2021. But 2020 has been this kind of Pandora's box year. It's the year of exposure. So again, this is exactly what is taking place. It's an ugly time. It's something where we are looking at pretty much everything just being exposed. Everybody being exposed, all of their agendas being exposed. We're even seeing this in our personal lives as well too. The light has come upon the planet, and it's the light that's actually causing all of this debris to come out of Pandora's box, right? The light is not rainbows and unicorns and whiskers on kittens and stuff, okay? It is very much the idea that this is truth, right? We are seeing this incredible ray of light of truth just shining itself upon the earth. And as it comes back out, we're seeing a lot of gunk. We're seeing a lot of debris. We're seeing a lot of horrid energies, rancid energies coming out from the light that is basically pouring out of the planet and now coming to the surface. And now we're seeing all of this, right? It's been building up for a few years, but now it's been culminating up into the 2020 year. Now, some people are still very concerned and thinking, is the light going to win? Is the light going to be victorious? Is the light going to prevail? Guys, truth has never lost. Okay? You have to learn that's the nature of history. Truth has never, ever lost. It's not the aspect of it being a loser, all right? There is no loss in truth. The problem is a lot of people don't want to hear the truth. A lot of people want to stay within their conveniences. They want to stay in a form of comfort. And they want to feel like, I don't want to hear all this stuff. If I hear anything that's counteracting or contradicting the way I'm living, well, I'm just going to plug my ears and I'm going to put my head in the sand. And I'm not going to listen. Well, there you go. That's the problem, right? What we have been experiencing here in the year 2020 has been prophesied by many different indigenous civilizations, ancient civilizations, for many thousands of years. We've had thousands of years of notice regarding this. All right? And now that this is here, well, we're all panicking. We're all feeling that we're in a state of chaos. It's because you've been putting your head in the sand. It's because you've been plugging your ears. You didn't want to hear this. You didn't want to see this, right? This is, again, what truth does. Truth is not just going to whisk you up like a newborn infant and then just take you off into rainbow land. Truth, again, is all about these rays of light that are going to come in, and it's going to show you everything. This is what man has created. This is what man has gone through for thousands of years. This is what we have given our silent obedience to. We've given our silent obedience for people to be murderers, for people to kidnap children, to hurt children, to harm children, to kill children, to do child trafficking, right? Rape, to do all these horrible things, to do pedophilia, right? To look at all these corrupt agendas where the elitists are being served and the common man and common women and common children are receiving the scraps of life, right? It's coming into the surface, and now that these particular I guess you say mongerers have had their truths exposed, they will do everything they can to keep themselves in the shadows. They will spin lies. They will spin fallacies. They will go into slander. They will go into propaganda. They will go into every single thing to make it feel like they're angels. They have not done anything wrong, and we're here for your good. You need to rely on us. You need to give your power to us because we'll take care of you. We'll handle all this stuff. Don't you worry about a thing. Okay? This is exactly what's being exposed. And it's so large, you can't deny it, right? If you think that what we've seen right now is as bad as it gets, no, guys, it's going to continue. It's going to be very, very intense. Like I said, people are very afraid of a second lockdown. I don't even know if that's actually going to happen. And if it does happen, there's another purpose to it. All right, basically a lockdown right now, if that is going to happen, or in the next little while, is that it'll probably be an apprehension of a lot of these particular people, right? A lot of them are going to be apprehended. There's a lot of silent operations that are happening upon the planet right now. And because of having a lockdown, it's much easier for these agencies to basically come in and start apprehending people. And some people will actually make bargains and saying, hey, okay, I'll stop what I'm doing. I'll stop what I'm doing. I want amnesty. I'll give you more names. I'll give you more people that are more higher up than me. But if you let me go, I'll do this for you, right? This is why some of them are allowed to remain in public, because they have basically surrendered and they have been promised amnesty. And because they've been promised amnesty, they give their information to, again, all these other particular forms of agencies that are working, that want to serve and see humanity go into a much more higher light, so to speak. And so this is why certain people that we may know to be war criminals in that sense are still kind of walking around and doing things, but they have kind of a change of mood because they know that they've been caught in the act. They've been caught red-handed. They've waved the white flag, and now they're saying, hey, if you spare me, I'll tell you more about these other people that have been controlling me, that have been going in the higher ups, right? And they get that information, and now they give that person amnesty. There's a lot of things going on, guys, because a lot of the common things that I hear is like, come on, Brad, if a lot of this was happening, we'd know about it. No, not this stuff, right? There are a lot of things that we are knowing about. There's a lot more stuff. Guys, if that was true, we'd all know about a secret space program, right? If that was true, we'd know everything about what's going on off planet. Hardly any of us know this, okay? Hardly any of us know about these different forms of agencies that are being formed that really don't even have any names. They're actually part of, again, opposing secret societies that are trying to take out the secret societies that basically want this satanic type of rule. Right? So there's a lot of things going on that we don't know about, right? And I know there's some questions coming in chat as well too, or some comments anyways. Thank you guys for being here anyways. One of them says, KJ says, Blossom Good Child channel, that in October we will see a big announcement after which a global lockdown will be enforced and phase 2 of the divine plan will start. That all depends, guys. That's nothing but a point of view. That's nothing but a perspective. Okay, basically, and I say this in the greatest particular form of respect, if you really want to know what's going on, channelers are the last ones to tell you. Okay, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, and I'm not pointing out anybody in particular. Even with Adronis, when he comes through, he just gives kind of tidbits of information that's taking place. I certainly wouldn't look towards channelers to give you a new idea about what is actually happening in the times ahead, okay? And that, again, is not going towards anybody in particular, but it's just important for us to know that if you really want to know what's going on, you look at the signposts, right? You look at the things that are around you right now. You look at the state of the world, and you see where things are going, okay? There are a lot of attempts for a second lockdown to happen, okay? And basically trying to spin a new virus. Guys, that's not going to happen, okay? There is too much of a resistance against anything relating to COVID or anything else that they cook up. Basically what's happening is so many people are seeing up the magician's sleeve right now. They all know it's a joke. Now, basically the whole idea of a second lockdown trying to happen, just like the first, is not going to fly, okay? Too many people are waking up. They're basically at the end of their rope right now. These guys have a deadline, everybody, okay? These guys have a deadline that if they do not get their control in order by December 21st, 2020, they're dead, okay? That's what's happening. If these power mongers do not try and assert their type of control to come back and try to control people and continue with their empire by the year 2020, they are dead. And I mean that very literally, okay? They're finished. They're destroyed. And so there are so many different forms of opposing factions that are really right now heated up, right? They're heating up and they're tracking down a lot of these goons, so to speak. They're tracking down a great deal of these power mongers. That way, I'll just refer to it as the old regime, right? The old regime agents in that way. And they're being hunted down. These people are being hunted down. They're scared for their very life. And they still have a lot of these puppets in power. They have them in political power. I mean, if you look at the governor of California, that's one of these puppets, right? They're basically putting these Satanists in charge. And like I said, they're going to be pulled off their thrones bit by bit. But everything here, guys, is timing, right? The new regime is the ex-old regime, Luke, okay? When we're looking at a new regime, we're looking at people who were once a part of this old world order, right? A lot of them could not stand about what they were trying to do, that they were going to try and reduce the population, that they were going to try and take people out, that they're just going to create this whole new empire. And there has been rebel cells contained inside that old world order. So there have been divisions. There have been, again, other, you could say, proxy organizations or proxy societies that try to work together under this one banner. And this one banner basically had their goal. Well, some of these other proxy secret societies did not like what they were hearing. So they would, in that sense, infiltrate up to a certain point. They would pull themselves away and they would branch off, okay? So you're looking at many different forms of agencies. You're looking at secret societies. You're looking at ancient brotherhoods that have had enough of this whole satanic, sadistic rule because they want nothing to do with it. They hit their breaking point. And so they are gathering together. They're rallying together and saying, no, we want to see humanity prosper. We're not into this whole satanic rule and having to kill 90% of the population just so we can serve these few higher-ups, because we'll really get nothing out of it either, and this is not what we want. So a lot of them have branched off, right? A lot of these guys, are not angels in any particular shape, way, or form, okay? This new regime, in that sense, is based upon ex-Satan worshippers, basically, who have now seen the light. They've cracked. They've broke. And they said, we're not going to have the earth go into this downward spiral anymore. And now they are creating their own particular forms of countermeasures to work together with agencies around the world to bring these guys down. All right, so that's just kind of a basic rundown of what's happening. Again, guys, you don't have to believe anything that I say, right? If what I say here is too much for you, you can hang up, you can close off this video, whatever it is, right? I'm only giving you guys a perspective, a point of view from what I'm receiving from my own inner guidance to tell you guys. But really, like I said, it's all about looking into, lack and love. And I've talked about this before, where when we come into the world as a newborn baby, we are an empty vessel, right? We are completely neutral to everything. We are completely open to everything. When we receive love in our life, it is love that has been accumulated into ourselves, and it is highly influential through the state of environment. If we are receiving a great deal of lack in our life, it is highly influential, and it is being received into what we know our environment to be. So again, a lot of people are just wondering, are we going to get victory to the light, or is this going to happen? I'm doubtful about these things. I'm doubtful. Well, nobody's going to be able to change your mind, man. Right? You have to be the one to say, what type of world do I want to live in? Because love is not just going to be bestowed upon you by somebody else. You have to know, you have to feel that you deserve love, right? Love has to be accumulated through you. And as you start to accumulate love, now you can use all that love to clear away the lack. And now you're going to be seeing things a lot more clearly. You see, the whole ultimate goal here of being on earth is not to have a secure job. It's not to have a secure household. It's not to have a family. It's not to have all this stuff. It's for you to completely connect and be one again with the Creator, to be with God, to live upon this earth with absolutely no belief systems whatsoever. Okay? And I say that like it's easy, but again, the whole idea is that if we start to really feel, I've put love into myself, I know how good this feels, I know how wonderful it feels to feel love, why aren't I doing this every single day, right? If we know that we love love, why aren't we constantly doing it? Why don't we have love that goes up past the highest mountain, right? Because we are still addicted to the modernization of these systems that have been created by man. It is a seduction, really. And this, again, is why we're seeing all of this ugliness unfold. Look at what we have given our power to for thousands of years. Our ancestors have given their power to for thousands of years. And all of these revolutionary people that basically told these systems are wrong and they need to end have been killed. Okay? And this has happened in current times as well, too. People who are, again, being very revolutionary and saying, guys, this is not the way to live. All you're doing is you're serving these elitists, you're serving their agendas, you're serving all of this rule that's coming upon this planet, and it's going to aid them, and it's going to help them, and it's going to move them up into power. That's all you're doing. And those people are ripped apart, and they are killed, right? So, again, we have to look into the idea of what our ancestors have been talking about for thousands of years, that we've had these revolutionaries, that they said it's not about kings and queens, it's not about emperors, it's not about rulers, it's about the people, right? And it's time for the people to now realize exactly what's been kept under their nose for thousands of years, right? People start getting upset about the idea of a second lockdown, or, Brad, what about this that's happening? Brad, what about that that's happening? You guys aren't asking the right questions, okay? You are getting too caught up into all these situational outcomes, thinking that somebody else outside of you is going to answer this for you and put you at ease. No, guys, that's not the way to do this, right? I share perspective with you, but the whole idea is that when you start putting a lot of love inside yourself, you're able to receive your own answers, right? You're able to get this clarity. You're able to see this yourself as the blueprint. You see the blueprint of this entire world. Brad, are you afraid of what's happening? Not at all. I've seen this time coming. And there's actually been times when I first started, I'm like, yes, this is finally coming out. This is finally happening. We're finally seeing Pandora's box open, and now people are going to see the ugliness of what's going on. And now we're going to be able to fix all of this, to shift all past it. We're going to transcend all of it. We have to let the old die, and we have to let the new be born, right? New systems. If we worked out a system that we know does not work, an old system that has served corrupted ends, then we're not going to completely dismantle the essence of that system, but we're going to clear away its current incarnation about how it works. So if it's something in regards to technology, Well, we're going to build cleaner technology. We're going to work with technology that works with the earth, that's going to clean our air, that's going to clean our water, that's going to clean our land, that's going to actually help to serve us and complement us a lot more. We're not going to be hooked on fossil fuels or coal or nuclear power or anything like that, which we know could pollute us and destroy us, right? So what we are doing is we are looking at all of these old systems. We're looking at all of their old blueprints and saying, no, this isn't going to work. Yes, we do want to create power, but we're not going to use it through these selfish ends. And there's a reason why coal power and nuclear power and fossil fuels has all been used and in great supply, is because it lowers the vibration of the planet. Okay? It keeps people in fear. When you are polluted in the body, you are contaminated by fear. Right? When you constantly get all of these illnesses and you get sick and you're ill and you're not well, guess what you're feeling? You're feeling sluggish, you're feeling unmotivated to doing things, you're afraid of pretty much everything. It's all part of the plan, guys. It's exactly the entire nature of this blueprint that this old regime has been creating for a very long time. Let's spray the skies with chemtrails. Let's put chemtrails over the place because it's like pharmaceutical drugs that are basically being sprayed down upon the population. Let's pollute the water. Let's pollute the air. Let's make the soil infertile. Let's try and create a loss in regards to the reproductive system, right? Procreation will have heavy bills upon it in that way. This is all a part of a gigantic blueprint of keeping the vibration of the planet low, right? And the whole idea is that we have to see this. We have to see that this is exactly what's been happening, and we are now letting these old systems fall. We are not trying to nurse them back to health. They are corrupt. But what we are doing is we're taking the essence out of that and we're putting it into a new incarnation. We're putting it into a new body. We're looking into the way of equality, and that comes together through the people. It's not one person's idea, right? It's the majority of people coming behind this idea and backing it up, because now we have a lot of great support that's coming together, right? So with lack and with love, wherever there has been lack within ourselves, the only way to rectify that is to accumulate love. Like I said, you are not born with lack, you are not born with love. You are a clear, empty vessel, and you are absorbing everything like a sponge. When you get older, you are realizing exactly what you're putting into yourself. That is this inner pollutant, that is this inner lack. And the only way for you to truly transcend it is going to come through the idea of you moving into love, working with love energy, right? Now, again, the reason I'm doing this video, like I said, is because there's been quite a few emails sent to me just in regards to people asking these common questions. Like I said, I was originally going to do this just running with the camera and do a pre-recorded one, but I said, no, it's good for people to kind of listen to me live of what I'm sharing, so you guys have a chance to respond as well too. All right, so let me go to some of the posts here in the live chat. I'm not channeling Adronis, guys, today, just to let you know, this is not a New Earth Teachings live webcast. This is just me talking to you guys, all right? Yes, I've heard about the underground bases, basically being taken down, and that's all part of the strategy as well, too. That's been something that's actually looking to happen for the past couple of years, and now it's culminating right now. Whenever you guys are seeing these kind of mini earthquakes that's taking place, right, those are not natural earthquakes, okay? Those are artificial means, and they're basically targeting underground bases, and they're using, sometimes it could be explosives, sometimes it could be other forms of technology, whether it's scalar technology or harpquakes or whatever. And they're using this technology to basically create these earthquakes underground to take out these military bases, because that's exactly where a lot of these beings are, I wouldn't say beings, but where a lot of these old regime members are trying to contain themselves. I said, no, you're not hiding underground. And so a lot of these underground bases, deep underground military bases, DUMBs, as they call them, are basically being attacked, right? And so they're going to get hit with these earthquake, I guess the best way to put it, quote unquote, earthquake weapons, and dismantling the base so that they cannot stay there. So, and they may also be trying to do some other things in the underground bases, trying to launch weapons and stuff like that. So all of that is being sabotaged, is being taken care of by, again, these other agencies, these other secret societies, right, which I've just basically termed as the World Alliance, right? So that is exactly what's happening. I think Benjamin Fulford has also talked about things like that as well. I kind of listen to him in and off, on and off. There's some things I don't agree with him on. There's some things I do. I do listen to him though, here and there. So yeah, guys, Adronis isn't coming through for this. Just wanted to let you guys know that. Here's a nice question from Kimberly. Blessings all. Thoughts on positive vibes coming up also on Inspire More Positive Feelings. Look around in the earth, right? Pull up some nice photos of the beauty of the earth. You're looking at waterfalls. You're looking at majestic beaches. You're looking at these ancient sites. You're looking at beautiful forests. You're looking at our planet. Our planet is the apex of beauty and joy and love, right? If we're trying to get past all of this aspect of dark times, right, we need to bring the light in. Like I said, this is where you're looking at lack and you're looking at love. If all we want to do is saying, okay, what's this old regime up to today? Well, then get ready to get hit with a lot of lack if you're not prepared for it, okay? If you want to go onto your internet, onto your computer, onto your phone and say, okay, what's this old regime doing now today? And you're not prepared, you're going to get hit with a lot of lack. And if you don't realize that you're being hit with that lack, then that is going to ferment inside you, okay? I'm not saying you guys shouldn't have ears open to the idea about what is happening, but it's important of knowing that if you are unprepared to receive any of that information, that can ferment in you, right? And it's very, very important that you are doing positive reinforcement. This is, again, guys, why I keep saying, the BCR technique is the most important video on my channel, right? Because that is exactly what you're going to do to get the antidote. The antidote to lack is love. And the BCR technique is all about that. So if you are willing to work with that, that's something, again, that I highly recommend doing every single morning. Is just putting lots of love into yourself, blessing the day, thinking of the earth, listening to the earth, working with the earth, playing music, dancing, whatever it is that really just gets you into that positive vibration and loving energy. And that is going to be your cure. That is your antidote to anything regarding lack, because now you are commanding that love energy. And that love energy is being a servant for you. It's being a genie. Master, what would you like me to do? Take care of this. I feel like my chest is pretty tight today. Love energy, I'm ready to let all this go. Take care of it. Done. Within seconds, the chest starts to lighten, right? You're getting all of this debris taken out of yourself, right? That is the precious moment. That is why you are here. That's why we're all here on earth. We are going to experience the greatest states of love ever. Now, and this is another thing, this has actually reminded me of another thing that's happening, where everything that is intense in regards to the state of lack, there is an equal and opposite reaction that is also going to be intense pertaining to love, right? Which means that as all of this stuff is going to start subsiding, you are looking at one of the most bright, brilliant futures that we could ever see. I don't really like to use that term, but basically the momentum of where we're going. Once all of this clears up, we are seeing a world that is so radiantly beautiful because we have seen a world once that was so radiantly ugly. All right? So wherever there has been that ugliness, that denseness, that darkness, like I said, there's an ebb and a flow. And that change is the only constant. As we start to work together as a collective, as humanity, and start to clean a lot of that debris up by helping people, working with people, right? The common person, all they have to do is put love into themselves and just share that love with others. Just say, have a nice day. Open up a door for a person, right? Help a person across the street. Just start talking to people, bless them. That's it. That's the common person's duty, is just to bring love into themselves. Is just to have a smile on your face, a genuine smile, and start working with where your love is guiding you, not trying to use this so much to think this is what I have to do here on my planet. No, because this is too stupid, okay? You work together with your heart. You work together with your true self. Your true self guides you. Oh, Brad, how do I get guided? I have to put love in myself. I have to fill myself with so much love. I don't even step outside until I feel all this pure love flowing through me. So when the birds are chirping, I'm in ecstasy. When I'm seeing the trees around me, I'm so happy. When I'm seeing beautiful nature all around me, when I see people all around me that are smiling and happy and holding hands, I don't care if they're wearing a mask or not. There's just that feeling of love, right? We are not here to dictate that response to other people. You should do this, you shouldn't do that, etc., because you're not following love. Love doesn't care about that stuff. Love cares about souls. Love cares about the sweetness that we see within everyone, within everything. That's what you're here to do, right? That's the greatest transition right now. So again, I've also talked about the point of no return, right? Where we're looking into December 21st, 2020. And like I said, if a lot of this old regime doesn't get their act together and they're not able to control the population anymore, they're dead. And that's basically what is happening. But when we move into the point of no return, it's like I said, you are boarding a train, you're boarding a plane, right? And you are flying towards a particular path. And it's very important that what you are in the vibration of on that very day is going to be the momentum that you carry forward, right? So basically, you could say that the solstice, this is one of the most important solstices we have ever experienced. Right? Some people say, well, this must be the harvest. This must be moving up into fourth density. No, not yet. Like I said, I've already talked about that, 2037, 2038. Okay, but right now, this is a very powerful shift. This is the benchmark to moving into the age of Aquarius. It's kind of like we're going into the city limits of the age of Aquarius. We're not quite at the city yet, but we're entering the city limits of the age of Aquarius. So we certainly hit a boundary in that way. And then the years ahead, we get closer and closer to the age of Aquarius city. But again, everything is going to change, really. We're looking at Jupiter and Saturn going up into the first degree of Aquarius, right? So we're looking at a very powerful shift. And this is all about systematic reconstruction, about the entire system being reconstructed into the air element, right? When you have that, you're looking at quantum technology, you're looking at holographic technology, you're looking at breakthroughs and new forms of technology, you're looking at new forms of education, you're looking at new forms of political arenas. Everything in that sense is going to start moving into the air element, and that is creativity. That is powerful vibration within itself. And we're looking at, some people are, again, getting really excited about medical beds, about hollow beds in that way. Adronis has talked about this on the last webcast, around 2033 in that way, to when we can start seeing like the official type of beds that people have been talking about in the secret space program, right? A lot of the beds that are coming right now are kind of like culminations of, sleek designs like X-ray beds and MRIs, and they may have like body scanners and stuff like that. And it'll be pretty neat. And there's going to be a lot more affordability to it. But it's not quite the med beds that I've been talking about. It's not quite the med beds that people have been talking about with the secret space program. It's going to take a few more years, right? Again, Adronis is estimated around 2033. That's not written in stone. That's just a momentum of where things are going right now. But there's a lot of things that are coming, absolutely. So, like I said, when we're moving into this, what I'm doing prior to the solstice is, again, the important thing about a solstice is that it starts to hit us about 2 weeks beforehand and about 2 weeks after, okay? So within that 2 week span, what I'm personally doing is going very much on I guess you could say, I don't know how to put it. Best way I could put it is like a love binge, right? It's just going into complete and total love of the self, less time on the computer, less time on social media, less time in regards to anything relating to technology, right? And just going into a lot more love energy. And then there's basically a 3-day period that I'll be going into December 19th, December 20th, December 21st, where I'm basically going into, as I term it, an illumination intensive, where I probably won't even be on the computer at all. I'll basically just uplifting my energy up into a lot of higher loving frequency, because that is the train that I'm boarding. That is the train that I'm going on. That is the plane that I'm boarding. That's the plane that's going to make the flight to where the path I'm going to unfold with. So what that means is that I'm basically just filling myself with love energy as much as possible, right? So that's constant BCR technique. And that's clearing out any other triggers, any old things within myself that may be lingering, and clearing that out. And you're being basically squeaky clean. So now that when you hit the solstice, you have this really great high frequency, and now you're being catapulted. That's basically what the solstice represents. You're on a catapult, and then there you go. You're going to go flying off into the momentum of energy that you have accumulated into you up into that point, right? This is the point of no return. So people who are very much in despair, who are down in the dumps, who are filled with fear, well, then they're going to be catapulted into more of that fear. They're basically going to go down with the ship. And then there are those who are moving up into loving energy, supportive energy, energy of the highest nature that is now going to catapult them, right, and shift them. And you're going to be riding out that momentum for a very long time. I don't even know how long that momentum is going to last, to be honest with you. It's going to last a very, very long time. So it is a very powerful state of momentum. It's a catapult, and we're being catapulted into this energy. This is why, in that sense, I say to you guys, it's not important to be worried about what's going on, because it really is beyond your control right now. You're not involved with those particular agencies. You're not involved with those particular forms of people that are responsible for trying to take down this road regime. Don't get involved with that, right? Educate people, help to inspire people, work with people in that way. Let them know that this is not the way to live, and that the true way to live is all about love, right? You're being missionaries in that way. You're being love missionaries. As I term it, you're being spirit ambassadors, right? But it's up to you. You have to decide exactly what your path is. You have to see that this is where I want to go. This is who I want to be. This is the catapult that I'm going to get on, and now it's going to launch, and I'm going to go flying off into heaven, right? You have the capability of doing that. But it's all up to us. We have to decide exactly where we fit. Each of us is different, okay? I know there's a lot of worried souls. This is kind of what Mayor was saying here, is that your words bring peace to worried souls, especially here in the U.S. with the upcoming elections. Thank you. Yeah, I know. I know about the elections and all that. But like I said, you have to kind of look at the road signs, right? The road signs are kind of coming in, and you're seeing where things are going, right? You have to kind of pay attention to the signs, right? When you look at the signs and you realize, okay, yeah, there is something shifting here pertaining to government. There is something shifting here relating to education. There is something relating here to finances, etc. You're seeing the signs of where this is going. Jesus would always say as well, too, is that whenever you see a cloud above, a heavy cloud, you know it's going to rain. But how come you cannot see the signs of the times? You cannot listen to the people. You cannot listen to the earth, of where the earth is actually telling you, this is what you need to do, this is where you need to be, and this is what is going to take place, right? We have to look at the road signs. And we're driving our car, and we know these road signs, and we know it's time to turn right. We're not going to ignore that and keep driving. We're going to miss an opportunity. So yeah, there are stop signs, there are road signs that you have to pay attention to. And the more that you pay attention to this, again, how do we pay attention to it? Love energy. We work with love, right? I encourage love so much because that is what we need the most. That is the antidote. That is the cure to everything that represents lack within ourselves. Lack cannot survive if love is filling your body, okay? It will immediately yield to love altogether. Love will completely vanquish it entirely, all right? All right, I'm just scrolling down the list here with more questions here, or comments. All right. I'm just reading some of the comments here, guys. One moment. Luke says, so do we need to sort out our inner selves before that day, before the time of the solstice? I would certainly recommend it. I mean, that's what I'm doing. I don't know what you guys are doing. You guys may want to throw a party or something like that. It's up to you, right? It's your life. But what I'm doing, yes, is I'm basically going into a 2-week preparation with the idea of the solstice that's coming up. I've always just been on my own, guys. I don't hang out with people, really. This is kind of my own little fortress of solitude that you're seeing here right now. I actually haven't been with quote-unquote people. I don't know why I'm using quotes there, but I haven't hung out with friends or anything like that. That's not what I do. Every single day that I've really been in this house, I'd say about 98% of the time, I've just been on my own. What do I do when I go out? I just go to parks. I just hang around the city. I go to beaches. I go in. I just start to reflect within. You know, I'll talk to certain random people on the street as well, too. But no, it's not me, you know, that's hanging out with friends, or Brad's got to have like a lot of friends in his area. No, guys, I'm completely in a state of solitude. I'm pretty much like a hermit, right? When I go out, I go to these beautiful places, and I just go within completely. I'm really my own best friend, right? I'm not in the idea of hanging out with a bunch of people and doing all this stuff. I'm cool with it if anybody invites me to things. But no, I'm really just a hermit in the best way I can put it. And this is my fortress of solitude right here. So a lot of the times I am completely on my own. I'm not with anybody. And I just enjoy it, right? I actually enjoy working together with myself, being in my own company. That's a thrill to me, right? It's not about, it's kind of like there's another person in Hollywood that kind of shares the same perspective that I've noticed not too long ago. And that's actually Keanu Reeves, right? He loves being by himself. He enjoys taking himself out, going to restaurants, buying himself clothing, and all that stuff. And I said, yes, man, that's it. This is what I've been doing now for the past couple of years. It's liberating. It's freeing. You can be your own best friend. If you can really enjoy your own self-company, you are so well ahead of the game, right? And this is what I've been focusing on for years, to get into that mentality of just enjoying myself, because in the times past, I was quite lonely because I did not yet know God, right? And when you start to go into that deeper essence of spirit within yourself, you know that spirit's all around you. So to me, there is no feeling of loneliness because I always feel spirit around me. I always feel this essence of love all around me. And it's the greatest company, and you're flowing through that. And again, when people feel that state where they sense a lot of loneliness, it's because there's so much of that lack within themselves. They don't get to know themselves. They feel like they have to bring other people into their life to fill that gap. And that's fine. We do want to have other people in our lives, but not to the point in that sense where we're trying to compensate for the loneliness and the lack within ourselves, right? We want to clear that out. So when you start bringing love into you each and every single day, you feel this entire essence of the universe. You feel the essence of God all around you all the time, and you never feel lonely, right? And that's really what's been happening with me the past couple of years. I've really enjoyed just being in solitude. I've really enjoyed just being my own person, being in my own company, going out doing things in that way. Maybe there's some people here on the chat that are doing the same thing, and I give you guys a thumbs up for that, right? The greatest company you can ever have is yourself. And then we complement ourselves by having these wonderful people that are coming into our life, because we complement ourselves and saying, I'm feeling really good about myself. Here's another person that I've just met, a new friend, and she's feeling good about herself, or he's feeling good about himself. And I enjoy being in their presence, but I'll also still enjoy just being in my own company as well too. So we have the best of both worlds. So I just wanted to share that as well too, all right? Because some people have asked me that, like, Brad, are you always by yourself? There's like never anybody else here. Well, of course not. Spirit is here. It's the unseen that is here with me, all right? Yeah, if you have no friends, and you can find new ones, or you can do without friends whatsoever. It's up to you, right? Like I said, if you are already well in your own company, you're just enjoying yourself. You love people, of course. There were times too where I did not like people, right? There were times in that sense where I was looking at all this stuff and just going, and I'm just shaking my head. I'm seeing how people are reacting to things and saying, I think I'm really starting not to like people. And that's when I know I had to wave a flag and say, okay, caught myself in the net. I need to work on that, right? Because it's not about disliking people. It's all about the idea of saying, it really goes back to that line of Jesus, forgive them for they know not what they do, right? But never give up your hope on people. Never give up your feelings of appreciation for people. And I was certainly getting onto that borderline. So I had to do a lot of correction within myself as well too. Okay. So I think I'm going to wrap this up here in a few minutes, guys. Again, I just wanted to do this to involve you guys into the conversation here. I think I've talked about everything that's in the title. I was talking about transitions, the point of no return, lack and love, right? So yes, 2021, the year of transition. So like I said, in November, I'm going to be bringing in Adronis for a live webcast, and it's going to be him sharing information about 2021, the year of transition, as well as him talking more about the point of no return and where we're going with this momentum as well too. So that'll be in November. Today, I'm just finishing up the mind deck, the Healing Code Cards mind deck. Okay, it's almost finished. I'm just going to basically take care of the instruction booklet. I'm getting the website updated as well too. So it will be ready to roll out here on Wednesday, October 14th. So I'm looking forward to that, sharing that with you guys. But again, thank you everybody for being here. I got a contribution earlier. Thank you very much to the person that gave me that contribution. I appreciate that. But yeah, I just want to share this with you guys as well too. Like I said, I know there's a lot of us that are uneasy right now, that are very much experiencing a lot of chaos. And the best way I could say is that don't let that be your reality, right? Just look at in regards to what that chaos is trying to tell you, and never give up the dedication that you have to going into yourself, right? Never give up the ability you have to love very, very deeply, right? If we are very much succumbing to a lot of the chaos, and believe me, the chaos is intense. It was so intense where I was starting to question my like for humanity, right? And that's what I was, okay, I know I got to go in, I got to do the EQ method, I got to clean myself out, I got to do BCR technique, I got to clean myself out. And it does get intense at times. I admit that, absolutely. But we don't want to give up our ability to love deeply. That is our greatest superpower. If you guys are looking to be a superhero, right? The greatest superhero ability you have is the ability to love, is the ability to give compassion, is the ability to give forgiveness. That's the greatest superpower, right? Really, I'd say the best nature of that is just to be God. All right, that's even beyond the idea of superpower. But a lot of people like to say that, hey, if I'm doing this spiritual work, I feel like a superhero. I got a cape and a cowl on. Great. You should be Captain Love. You should be Commander Compassion. You should be Lieutenant of Love Field or something like that. Something with love, something with compassion, right? Brigadier General Forgiveness, right? There you go. Those are the best superheroes, right? So that's really what you are doing, is never give up on that state of love. Work together with your happiness. Wake up every single morning, putting that love energy into yourself and commanding it. It is your servant. It will do anything you want it to do by you accumulating a great deal of that love together, all right? Don't give up on love. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on others. That's what I'd like to end this broadcast with. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Love you guys. And again, I'll be back on Friday for the next Neuro Teachings webcast as well too. And who knows, I might have another video or two this week coming up as well. Thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate it. And I'll talk to you again in another perspective of the now. Take care.